we are doing another flocking video. This time we are flocking the outside of the ornament instead of the inside. Stick around and watch the whole video because the end result will reveal itself. It will be worth it.
Whether you choose our technique or someone else's technique, these 5 steps will help you in the flocking process.
Number 1 is to sand your ornament first. The reason why you want to sand your ornament is when you use acrylic paints, it will stick to it. Otherwise, it can chip off. Number 2 is to tape your ornament onto a stick and make a stand out of a cardboard box or a mesh metal basket so it can dry and you don't have to touch the ornament. Number 3 is to paint the ornament twice with acrylic paint. We like to use matte craft paint for this. You want to paint it once, let it dry, paint it a second time, let it dry, and then you're ready to flock with whatever technique you choose.
Number 4 is to coat the ornament with matte or satin Mod Podge. This creates a really nice foundation for all types of flock. Number 5, use a sifter or a strainer when applying the flock. This will help create an even coat and it won't get clumpy. This is the white flock that we're using. It's called Flock in a Box and it comes in a 5-pound bag, so you can do a lot of flocking with this.
Flock in a Box is great because it already has the adhesive built into it.
If you gather your pine cones, you may want to treat them first. We covered a baking sheet with wax paper, set the oven for 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and baked our pine cones for 30 minutes so we could get rid of bugs and any sap that might be left inside the pine cones. After you take them out and they cool off, they're ready for flocking.
We have this pine cone and you're gonna flock it.
The one thing I do want to have with me is a spray bottle, and this one sprays lightly. This one's from the Dollar Tree, and I like this one in particular. And all I'm going to do is pour some of my flock right in here and have it set up. Just squirt water onto the pine cone. We'll get it nice and wet, and then you can just apply the flock just like this, and you get this nice effect. And you can also build up on it. So I'm going to hold this over here a little bit. We get a really nice coating. Now what we did with ours is we mixed it in with a little bit of light blue, but white works on its own.
Are the colors that we've combined together for our wreath making next week. We're using 2 4-inch ornaments along with 2 5/8 ornament balls. We also have some of our pine cones that we'll be adding. If you'd like to join us, we'd love to see you.
The best thing to do with your ornament is to sand it first, and you're going to paint it with acrylic paint. Now we didn't do that, and I'm going to share that with you so that you can learn from our mistakes. We did not paint ours underneath. A little bit of the ornament shine is kind of coming through. So if you're going to do our technique, sanding it first will just help knock this down so it's not a different texture. I'm going to apply some Mod Podge here. Since the adhesive's already in it, you can even wet this down a little bit. We're going to coat it. This is what will give it more of a velvet-like look, even though it does not have that feel. I would recommend sticking with values between white and the color that you want. This has a really nice soft feel to it. The problem is this will come off on your hands, so we have to solidify it. What I'm going to do here is just wet this down. This way that color is not going to come off. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the white, I still have the blue in there, and let these mix together so then you get variations. You can really get artistic with this and try some other techniques. I might wet this down and keep going with the white. The more white you add, the less this color is going to come off. The nice thing about having the acrylic paint underneath here first, the flock has a really nice surface to stick to, and the whole look will definitely present itself after it completely dries. It takes about 3 to 4 hours for this to dry, depending on how much water you use. Just gonna pour a little bit more white here. We'll look at this once it dries so you can see the finished project. Here's the final ornament. Look at how easy this is to clean up, even though it looks really messy. It's so easy. We painted our caps by just painting them with a moss green matte paint, and then we layered it with an extreme sheen pewter like metallic color.
When mixing our colors with 3 parts white flock compared to 1 part color, the colors were broken down from there. The color tempera paints that we're using can either be a DecoArt or a Jack Richardson powder tempera paint. You can buy these at Michael's, and Richardson's can be bought at Dick Blick or on Amazon. This is all powder that we're working with.
Here's a visual representation of the colors that we used. If you enjoyed this video, we'd love to see you next time. Please subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.